Here's something nobody tells you about money. Right now, as you're watching this video, your savings account is quietly bleeding value. Every single day, I'm going to show you something wild. Take out your phone, open your banking app. Look at your savings balance. Got it? Okay, now imagine that number shrinking by 2 to 4% every year. That's not a hypothetical. That's what inflation is doing to your money right now while it sits there. But here's the crazy part. There are people, regular people, not Wall Street insiders, not trust fund kids, who are making their money grow by 8, 10, sometimes 15% per year. Same economy, same inflation. Completely different outcome. The difference? They know something you're about to learn in the next 28 minutes. I'm going to show you exactly how to start investing in 2025, even if you only have $100 to your name. No BS, no complicated jargon, just the actual step-by-step process I wish someone had shown me years ago. And I'm going to prove to you why starting today, not next month, not next year, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars to your future self. Sound good? Then let's do this. Part 1. The silent wealth killer. Let me hit you with some real numbers, and I want you to actually feel this because most people just gloss over this stuff. You've got $10,000 saved up. You're proud of yourself. You should be. That's discipline. But let's play this forward. Year 1, inflation runs at 4%. Your $10,000 now buys what $9,600 used to buy. Your bank pays you maybe 0, 5% interest if you're lucky. You gained $50, but you lost $400 in purchasing power. Net loss, $350. Year 5. That $10,000 is now worth about $8,200 in today's money. You've lost nearly $2,000 in purchasing power. Your bank account says $10,000, but reality says $8,200. Year 10. You're down to about $6,700 in real value. Almost a third of your money just gone. Evaporated. This is what financial advisors call the hidden tax. You didn't spend it. You didn't lose it gambling. You just left it in a savings account and did everything right. Now, here's the alternative timeline. You take that same $10,000 and invest it in a diversified portfolio, averaging 10% returns, which is roughly what the S&P 500 has done historically over decades. Year 10. That $10,000 is now worth $25,937, not $6,700. Same person, same $10,000. Two totally different endings to the story. Why investing actually matters. Look, I'm not going to promise you'll get rich quick. Anyone who does is lying. But I am going to show you how compound growth, Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world, can genuinely change your financial future. Here's a real example that changed how I think about money. The coffee shop investor. You spend $6 per day on Starbucks. $6. That's $180 a month, $260 a year. Not judging, I love coffee too. But watch this math. If instead of spending that $6 daily, you invested it at an 8% annual return, year 5 or $13,000. Year 10, $33,000. Year 20, $99,000. Year 30, $245,000 plus. That's not a typo. $250,000 from skipping Starbucks. Now, I'm not saying don't ever buy coffee. I'm saying understand the real cost. That $6 cup of coffee actually costs you $24 in future money when you account for what it could have become. Every dollar you spend is a choice between today you and future you. The growth gap. Let me show you why this matters with a story. Meet Jake and Emma, both 25 years old. Both earn $50,000 per year. Jake invests $300 per month starting at 25. He stops at 35, only 10 years of investing. Total invested, $36,000. Emma waits until 35 to start investing. She invests $300 per month from 35 to 65, 30 years of investing. Total invested, $108,000. Both earn 8% annual returns. Who has more at 65? Jake, $360,000. Emma, $340,000. Jake invested $72,000 less, but ended up with more money. Why? Because he had time on his side. Those 10 extra years of compound growth did all the heavy lifting. The lesson? Start small, start now. Time is your biggest advantage. Part 2, the investor mindset. Okay, before we get into the how, we need to fix the way you think about money. Because here's the truth. Most people never become investors, not because they lack money, but because they lack the right mindset. Question number 1, are you a consumer or a builder? Consumer mindset, I earned $1,000, what can I buy? Investor mindset, I earned $1,000, how much can I deploy to make more money? See the difference? One is about extraction. The other is about multiplication. The delayed gratification superpower. There's this famous psychology experiment called the marshmallow test. Kids could eat one marshmallow now or wait 15 minutes and get two marshmallows. The kids who waited, years later, they were more successful, healthier, happier. Why? Patience is profitable. When you invest, you're choosing two marshmallows later instead of one now. And in 10, 20, 30 years, you're not getting two marshmallows. You're getting 20 marshmallows. Reframe how you see money. Stop seeing money as something to have. Start seeing it as something to deploy. Think of yourself as a general commanding an army. Every dollar is a soldier. Send them home, spend them, they're gone. Keep them in the barracks. Save them, they're safe but inactive. Send them to battle. Invest them, they go out and bring back reinforcements. Smart generals don't hoard all their troops in the barracks. They deploy them strategically. Your first mental shift challenge. Right now, I want you to do something. Open your phone. Look at your last 5 transactions. Did this bring me closer to financial freedom or further away? Be honest, no judgment, just awareness. Because investing starts with awareness. You can't change what you don't measure. Part 3, the investment menu. All right, now let's talk about where you can actually put your money. Think of this like a restaurant menu. Each option has different flavors, different prices, different benefits. 1. Stocks, the high-octane option. When you buy a stock, you own a piece of a company. If the company does well, you do well. Real example. In 2020, if you'd bought $10,000 worth of NVIDIA stock, by late 2024, it would have been worth over $100,000. 10 times your money. But here's the flip side. In 2022, the stock market dropped 20%. Many individual stocks fell 50 to 70%. The truth about stocks, high potential returns, 10 to 15% average long-term. High volatility can drop 30 to 50% in bad years. Best for long-term holders who can stomach the roller coaster. 2. Bonds, the steady eddy. You're basically lending money to governments or companies. They pay you interest. 2025 example. 10-year U.S. Treasury bonds. 4 or 5% annually. Corporate bonds, investment grade. 5 to 6% annually. High-yield bonds, 7 to 9% annually, but riskier. The truth about bonds. Lower returns, 4 to 7% typically. Much more stable. Best for preservation of capital, older investors, or balance in your portfolio. 3. Index funds and ETFs, the smart lazy option. This is my personal favorite for beginners. Instead of picking individual stocks, you buy a basket of hundreds of companies at once. Example, an S&P 500 ETF gives you ownership in Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, NVIDIA, all 500 top U.S. companies in one purchase. Why this matters? Over the last 50 years, the S&P 500 has returned about 10% annually on average. If you just bought and held, you'd have crushed most professional fund managers. Warren Buffett, literally one of the richest investors alive, says, put 10% of the cash in short-term government bonds and 90% in a very low-cost S&P 500 index fund. Popular ETFs, VO, Vanguard S&P 500, 0.03% fee. VTI, Vanguard Total Stock Market, 0.03% fee. SDHD, Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity, 0.06% fee. QQQ, NASDAQ 100, 0.20% fee. The truth about index funds. Instant diversification. Ultra low fees 0, so 3% to 0, 20%. Perfect for beginners. Best for everyone, honestly. 4. Cash, money market, high yield savings, the safety net. Money market funds and high yield savings accounts. In 2025, many online banks offer 4 to 5% APY. Marcus by Goldman Sachs, 4-5%. Ali Bank, 4-35%. Sophie, 4-6%. Wealthfront Cash Account, 4-5%. The truth about cash, safe and FDIC insured up to $250. Liquid, access at any time. Barely keeps up with inflation. Best for emergency funds, short-term goals under 3 years. 5. Real estate, the long game. Buying property to rent out or flip. Or investing through REITs, real estate investment trusts. REITs. You can invest in real estate without buying property. VNQ Vanguard Real Estate ETF. Realty income, monthly dividend payer. The truth about real estate, physical property requires significant capital. Illiquid, can't sell instantly. Maintenance costs and landlord headaches. REITs give you real estate exposure with liquidity. Can provide passive income plus appreciation. Best for people with capital and patience or REIT investors. 6. Crypto and alternatives, the Wild West. Bitcoin, Ethereum, startup equity, commodities, precious metals. The truth? Extremely high risk. Potential for 10x returns or 90% losses. Bitcoin has historically been volatile but has recovered. Only invest what you can afford to lose. Best for 5 to 10% of portfolio maximum if you're adventurous. Building your portfolio recipe. Think of it like making a smoothie. Conservative smoothie, lower risk, lower return. 40% bonds, bond funds. 40% index funds. 20% cash money market. Balanced smoothie, medium risk, medium return. 60% index funds, VTI VO. 30% bonds, BND. 10% cash. Aggressive smoothie, higher risk, higher return. 80% stocks index funds, 15% alternatives, REITs, international, small cap, 5% cash. Simple rule of thumb. 100 minus your age equals to percent in stocks. If you're 25, 75% in stocks. If you're 45, 55% in stocks. If you're 65, 35% in stocks. Part 4, the action plan. Okay, enough theory. Let's get practical. I'm going to give you the exact 8-step process to start investing this month. Step 1, kill the money vampires week 1. Before you invest a single dollar, you need to eliminate high-interest debt. The rule, if you're paying more than 8% interest on debt, pay that off first. Why? Because paying off 18% interest credit card debt gives you an instant, guaranteed 18% return. You literally cannot beat that in the market. Priority order. Credit card debt average 19 to 25%. Personal loans 8 to 15%. Car loans 5 to 10%. Student loans 4 to 7%. Debatable, you might invest instead. Mortgage 3 to 7%. Usually invest instead. Action item. List all debts, their interest rates, and attack anything above 8% first using the avalanche method. Step 2, build your safety moat week 2 to 3. Save 3 to 6 months of basic expenses in a liquid, accessible account. Calculate this. Monthly rent, mortgage, food, salty, transportation, utilities, insurance, Toski, total X 3 hour minimum emergency fund. Why this matters? So you never have to sell your investments at a loss during an emergency. Where to keep it? High yield savings account 4 to 5% like Ally, Marcus, or SoFi. Step 3, choose your platform week 3. Best platforms for beginners in 2025. Free trading, no commissions. Fidelity, excellent for beginners, great research tools, fractional shares. Charles Schwab, top-tier customer service, robust platform. Vanguard Wagner, best for index fund investors. Robinhood, simple interface, instant deposits, but limited research. Robo-advisors, automated investing. Betterment, 0 25% fee, automatic rebalancing. Wealthfront, 0 25% fee, tax loss harvesting. M1 Finance, free customizable pies. What to look for? $0 commissions on stocks, ETFs. Lower no account minimums. Fractional shares, buy $10 of a $500 stock. Good mobile app. Educational resources. My recommendation for beginners. Start with Fidelity or Schwab. Rock solid platforms with everything you need. Action item, sign up for one platform this week. Just one. Don't overthink it. Step 4, max out your tax-advantaged accounts first. This is critical and most beginners miss this. Priority order. 1, 401k up to company match free money. If your employer matches 5%, contribute at least 5%. That's an instant 100% return. Always take the free money. 2, Roth IRA, $7,000 limit in 2025, $8,000 if you are 50 and above. Contributions are after tax. Growth is tax-free forever. Can withdraw contributions anytime penalty-free. Best for most people under 40. 3, traditional IRA $7,000 limit in 2025. Contributions may be tax-deductible. Growth is tax-deferred. Pay taxes when you withdraw in retirement. Best for high earners and high tax brackets now. 4, max out 401k, $3,500 limit in 2025, $31,000 if you are 50 and above. 5, HSA if you have a high deductible health plan, $4,300 individual, $8,550 family in 2225. Triple tax advantage, deductible, grows tax-free, withdraws tax-free for medical. Can invest it like a 401k. Secret retirement weapon. 6, regular taxable brokerage account. Use this after maxing tax-advantaged accounts. No contribution limits. Full flexibility. Action item. Open a Roth IRA this week if you don't have one. Step 5, start stupidly small week. Here's the secret nobody tells you. The hardest part is the first dollar. Don't wait until you have $10,000. Start with $150. Whatever you can afford. Why small is smart. Removes fear paralysis. Builds the habit. Lets you learn with low stakes. Gets the compound clock ticking now. Real talk. I started with $100 in a Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, VOO. I was terrified. Within a week, it dropped by $8. I almost sold. A year later, it was worth $130. 5 years later, that $100 seed turned into $250 plus. My recommended first investment, VO or VTI, broad U.S. market exposure. Set it and forget it. No need to get fancy. Action item, make your first investment this week. Any amount, just do it. Step 6, automate everything month 2. This is the game changer. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your investment accounts. How to automate? Set up direct deposit to split paycheck. Or set up automatic weekly or monthly transfers. Set up automatic investments in your chosen exchange-traded fund. Why automation works. Removes emotion from the equation. Enforces consistency. Prevents I'll do it next month syndrome. Dollar cost averaging, buying at different prices, smooths volatility. Start with $100 to $500 per month if possible, if not $50, literally anything. Example automation. $200 per month to Roth IRA auto invest in VOO. $100 per month to taxable account auto invest in VTI. $50 per month to fund speculation account your choice. Action item, set up automatic investing today. Step 7, diversify like your life depends on it. Ongoing. Never, ever, ever put all your money in one stock. The one rule of investing. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Bad diversification. 100% in Tesla stock recipe for disaster. 100% in tech sector only. 100% in US only. Good diversification. VTI entire US stock market, 3,500 plus companies. BND total US bond market. VX's total international stock market. Great diversification 3-fund portfolio. 60% VTI US stocks. 30% VXU's international stocks. 10% BND US bonds. Or just buy 100% VT, literally the entire world stock market in one ETF. Action item, make sure your first investment is in a broad index fund, not a single stock. Step 8, ignore the noise and stay the course. This is the hardest step. Markets will crash, news will be scary. Your portfolio will turn red. Historical truth, the 2008 financial crisis saw markets drop 50%. People who sold locked in losses. People who held and kept investing saw 300% plus gains over the next decade. The COVID crash in March 2020 dropped 35% in weeks. By August 2020, it fully recovered. All right, we've covered a lot in the last 25 minutes. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that's normal. The only way to fail at investing is to never start. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to take the first step. So here's my challenge to you, the 30-day investing challenge. Week 1, open a Roth IRA or brokerage account, Fidelity or Schwab. Week 2, calculate your emergency fund target and start building it in a high-yield savings. Week 3, research one index fund, VO, VTI, or VT. Week 4, invest your first $100 or whatever amount you can afford. That's it, 4 weeks, 4 simple actions, and you'll have gone from zero to investor. What happens if you do this? Let me paint you 2 pictures. Picture 1, you do nothing. In 10 years, you're in the exact same financial position you're in right now, except inflation has made everything more expensive. You're working just as hard, but falling further behind. Picture 2, you start today. You invest $500 per month for 10 years at 10% average return. You now have $102,000. Not life-changing, but you've built the habit. You keep going for 20 more years, 30 total. You now have over $1 million. That's retirement. That's freedom.